Will Lewis Hamilton give up the fight with Max Verstappen? The 2021 F1 Drivers' Championship saw Hamilton go up against perhaps his greatest rival in the game, after Nico Rosberg. That's a joke. The season concluded on a controversial note, where from the start supporters could agree that Lewis was wary of the Red Bull driver. What then happened between both drivers, and will Lewis Hamilton return to Formula One after the title was stolen away from him? Watch the entire video to find out. Welcome to Pole Position. If you haven't yet subscribed, hit the subscribe link and ring the notifications bell, and let's rev right into it. The two best drivers currently, Lewis Hamilton and Max Verstappen, were tied at 369.5 points before the last race in the 2021 season. Hamilton was on his way to bagging his 8th championship to break his tie with Michael Schumacher, and Verstappen was desperately trying to win his first title. Both ambitious drivers were caught in enough drama that lasted throughout the season, but subtly there's an added layer to their competition. After Lewis Hamilton felt cheated in the final race of the 2021 season, there are speculations that he might not return to drive for Mercedes or any team in the F1. Do you think he'd return? Let us know in the reactions under this video. Much of what constitutes the rivalry comes from what both drivers represent. Back in 2007, Lewis Hamilton became the first British driver since Damon Hill in 1996 to win an F1 championship, and it became evident that the racing world was about to witness something special. Lewis won his first championship in his second racing season and has added 5 more to his cabinet. As the son of a former Formula One driver, Jos Verstappen, Max holds what is expected to be the future of the sport, and merely at 24 he has already won praises for his analytical approach to racing and reserved personality, with a knack for doing things supposedly the right way. To fans, Verstappen is an aggressive driver on the track. What the two drivers stand for might as well not mean anything on the way, but it turned the 2021 F1 into a clash. A straightforward conclusion to the extant lousy blood between both drivers is that in races, they crashed into each other. The back-and-forth wreck began at Silverstone in the British Grand Prix and happened in other races. What presented the final doubt happened in the Abu Dhabi GP, when the whole race was given to Max on a platter of gold. He was given a chance off the books, and he simply took it. Hamilton's rivalry with Verstappen had reached several tension points. After their first collision in Silverstone, Verstappen told the media that Hamilton and Mercedes had handled the situation disrespectfully. Verstappen said Hamilton called him. "I don't need to go into details about that, but we did have a chat." Verstappen also added, "It is disrespectful if one guy is in the hospital and the other one is waving the flag around like nothing has happened while you push the guy into the wall with 51G. Not only that, just the whole reaction of the team besides that. That's not how you celebrate a win, especially a win how they got it. That's what I found really disrespectful, and in a way it shows how they really are. It comes out after a pressure situation, but I wouldn't want to be seen like that." Hamilton, on the other hand, reiterated that his team had done nothing wrong when asked what he thought of Verstappen's comments in Hungary. He said, "I don't believe our behavior was disrespectful," said the 7-time world champion. "As I said, it's one thing knowing what happened and then celebrating it, and it's another thing not knowing and celebrating. As I told you, I wasn't aware. But it's my home, Grand Prix, and we worked incredibly hard for who knows how long to get a result like that. And what a monumental moment it was for us to experience the whole home crowd being there for the first time since last year was missed. Emotions were running high. It wasn't like an intentional celebration. It was just the joy of seeing so many people and so many people celebrating being together. That's the natural emotion. I'm not going to hide my emotions. It was an amazing feeling to see so many people." In numerous interviews and appearances, Hamilton has head-on addressed the issue, stating the obvious that Verstappen often drives too hard and sometimes doesn't follow the sport's rules. Hamilton once referred to Verstappen as crazy and has always complained about the young driver's aggression on track. While Hamilton has remained clear on his side, Verstappen has relied on others as support. He does not cite Hamilton specifically, but often criticizes the F1 generally for any punishment he receives whenever there is a crash. Even the Red Bull boss, Christian Horner, and Verstappen's father have all bristled about Hamilton in the media. What miraculously pushed the ultimate button was then the last race of the season. Through the race, Hamilton had Verstappen in his pockets, dusting away from the Red Bull with pure speed and experience. In a twist of fate, a car crash in turn 14 and lap 53 of 58 inspired a change of events that perhaps fueled the race director's imagination. The safety car was called out, and it stayed out till the final lap of the race, bringing Verstappen toe-to-toe with a Mercedes driver only inches away from him now. The race director brought the whole race to the last lap to decide who won the championship, and Verstappen luckily emerged the winner. Hamilton could only say, "This has been manipulated, man." Hamilton was fighting for a record-breaking 8th title and had just a handful of laps remaining on course to become the greatest F1 driver in history if he could hold off Verstappen, who needed a miracle to win. With 5 laps remaining, a car crash issues the deployment of a safety car and the tables turned for the Mercedes driver. The FIA race director chose to swing the championship back in favor of Max Verstappen. He neglected racing rules and allowed the 5 cars between Hamilton and Verstappen to unlap themselves. Hamilton, who was leading the race, was slowed down by the safety car, and in minutes, Verstappen was right beside him, while the barrier between them had been cleared. Verstappen, on fresher sleeks, lunged to victory in the last lap on Hamilton and crossed the finish line to take the championship. It has since been reported that Lewis Hamilton will only return to Formula One if the FIA takes significant action to Max Verstappen's controversial championship. Max Verstappen picked up his first F1 title in Abu Dhabi in a dramatic winner-takes-all race to the finish line as he hunted down Hamilton, who had led for much of the race. After the race, Mercedes were furious as to the result of the race, and the team boss Toto Wolff immediately retreated to his Mercedes office after the race before lodging 2 protests with the FIA, with all Mercedes personnel refusing to speak to the media. While the announcement of the winner was held, Verstappen and Red Bull endured an agonizing wait until it was finally announced that Mercedes would not push forward with an investigation. The 24-year-old Dutchman was afterwards named champion. After several protests to the FIA by the Mercedes team, the head of the Mercedes team later mentioned to the media that the situation could influence Hamilton's decision to return to tracks. After the incidents at the Abu Dhabi GP, Lewis felt he had been cheated and barely said anything after the race. In the aftermath, Hamilton has since disappeared from public eye, raising speculations to support the claims of the Mercedes boss. The world of Formula One was thrown to criticisms from experts and fans alike. While people have aired their differing opinions on the disciplinary action that should face the race director, others hope that Lewis will be vindicated. The FIA had pledged to investigate what happened during the final laps of the race that denied Hamilton his 8th championship. In recent news, the FIA race report for the Abu Dhabi GP will be released for public scrutiny. No one knows if Hamilton will return to the tracks as he simply has stayed away from the media. It has only become clear that the British driver narrowly admires the young Dutch Max Verstappen. Verstappen, on the other hand, has urged the 7-time world champion to simply see it as a game and not say goodbye to the tracks just yet. If you enjoyed the video, share it with your friends and hit the thumbs up icon. Don't forget to subscribe for more content coming your way.